Well, hello my lovelies, it's Murky Meg here. It's Sunday the 27th of December and I hope that you had the most wonderful Christmas ever. Yes, it was very different this year for the majority of people. Couldn't see the loved ones that we wanted to do, but we had to cobble on and make the best of it. I myself had a fun-filled day eating my weight in chocolate and cheese basically, and time to take the tree down sadly. Anyway, on with today's video. News dropped last night and it is a doozy. Now you remember when Harry and Meghan, this whole Megxit thing happened, basically said that they were going to put everything on hold for a 12-month review, and that's when Harry and Meghan would come back to the table to see if they wanted to retain leaving the monarchy. The door was left open purely for the fact that the review period was inserted in case Harry and Meghan wished to return as working royals, but they have made it extremely clear that they want to live their independent lives. For example, brokering the Netflix and the Spotify deal, Meghan investing in the oat latte company. But The Sun reported last night that they are brokering an extension to this 12-month Megxit deal and that Harry plans to return back to the UK in the new year to seal this extension. Apparently they want a more permanent agreement to continue as non-working royals in California despite landing those huge mega money deals with Netflix and Spotify. Now, as part of the Megxit deal, Harry's military titles also came into question. Now, reading on the SussexRoyal.com website, which to be quite honest hasn't been updated and it's peppered with holes now, and I'll come into that a little bit later on. It says, in relation to the military, the Duke of Sussex will retain the rank of Major and honorary ranks of Lieutenant Commander and Squadron Leader. During this 12-month review period, the Duke's official military appointments will not be used as they are a gift of the sovereign. No new appointments will be made to fill these roles before the 12-month review of the new arrangement is completed. Now, word on the street is that Harry wants to keep those military titles, even though he's not a working member of the royal family. Do you think that's fair? And if the extension is granted, they will just roll on and roll on. Now, if this 12-month review was simply to let them settle into their new life and to see if they liked it or not, why on earth are they asking for an extension? Because it looks to me like they are very much enjoying life, making sure that they can monetize their titles, or what little titles they still have left, and basically get all the money for everything that they want while using those titles. Now, I suspect what they'll say is that, oh, but we haven't been able to fulfill our full potential because of COVID. No, you've made sure that you've brokered those humongous Netflix deals and Spotify deals during COVID, so that's not really a good excuse, is it? Because you can't say one thing and do something completely different, or they can because they always do, because they're ginormous hypocrites. Then you've got to wonder, well, is there other reasons why they're asking for this 12-month review? And we've got to simply ask, why has the court case against the Daily Mail Associated Newspapers been deferred or been suspended for 9 months? That was a big indication that things are afoot. I suspect that she is either newly pregnant or that she plans to get pregnant pretty damn quickly, and she just doesn't want this during the pregnancy. You know, Meghan likes all the attention on her and not the negative aspect. So this would be another way for them to manipulate the media and say, look, we're pregnant, oh, we're amazing. Not have the catastrophic media coverage that this would generate, the Megxit review. Another twist is that they are both expected to come back for the talks. Could it be that in fact she is pregnant and it's the reason why Eugenie and Jack couldn't live at Frogmore, because they want to come back and have the child on British soil to make sure that that title or the lineage is really honed down for the new baby. Whether you believe she used a surrogate or not, it's workable either way. You know, all you have to do is make sure the child is born on the UK soil and Bob's your uncle. And then there is the element of, are these companies waiting to see if they retain their titles? If they are to be stripped of their titles, which to be perfectly honest I don't think will happen, sorry, I don't believe they will. I want them to be, I need them to be. I don't think that they should hold their HRHs nor their Duke and Duchess titles with the way that they have been behaving. But I don't think the Queen will remove those titles at all. I think that we are going to be incredibly disappointed if the 12-month review goes ahead in March and they still retain their titles, because a lot of people are now up in arms saying with their behaviour of late within the last year, they shouldn't be HRH and nor should they be Duke and Duchess, because they have leaned heavily on those Duke and Duchess titles, haven't they? Every single Zoom call, every single bit of media publicity that they have put out there have been using those titles. They're not Harry and Meghan, they have been using Duke and Duchess of Sussex, and that to me leans heavily on them using and abusing their royal titles. And let's be perfectly honest here, those titles are where the money is. Without those titles, do you really think that they will get the big bucks? And there lies the issue. Do Harry and Meghan know this? Are they asking for an extension so that they can broker the deals, seal them, and get content out there and start earning the money before the titles are stripped? If indeed they are stripped, to keep the titles means that they can continue to monetize the monarchy. And personally, I don't think that upholds the value of Her Majesty, which was stipulated in their SussexRoyal.com manifesto website. Since when have titles been a bargaining tool? It's wrong on all levels. If the powers that be in the firm agree to this 12-month extension, I think that they will lose a humongous amount of respect worldwide. They did during Megxit when they allowed them to keep their titles. Everybody was up in arms except for, the corner of the sugar world where they go, oh look, they've got their titles, they can't strip them. They're left under the guise of wanting privacy for Archie and also to be financially independent. And respectfully, like it or not, they have done both of those things. So you've got to ask the questions, why are they asking for a 12-month review? It's a valid question. The 12-month review was a cooling off period to make sure that they were happy with their choice. They left the door open to see if they wanted to come back after 12 months and they wanted to dip their feet into the water that is California. They've done that. They've brokered the deals. They've done everything possible. They've slated the royal family. She's even confirmed that she played a part in fighting freedom. What more can they ask for? Why are they asking for this 12-month extension? Because obviously they have no intention whatsoever of ever returning as working members of the royal family, because they've signed these humongous monetized deals. What's the catch? They haven't really been present for their own patronages. They've done a few Zoom calls or a few pictures. I mean, the Mayhew Christmas card was a prime example, but that was a way of them getting that out. They used the charity to make sure that their Christmas card got out to the world. It's quid pro quo. And you've got to ask, is the extension to do with financial possibilities? On their Sussex Royal website, they still have the fact that they are still receiving 95% of their royal income. They've dropped the 5% of the sovereign grant, but it says that they are still receiving 95% from the Duchy of Cornwall, plus their security. It's still there in black and white. Now, I've got to ask the question, we had all this news saying, no, we're not accepting money from Charles, not the Duchy of Cornwall, we're completely financially independent. If that was correct, would they have not taken that information down? It's still there, it's still live. It says that they are being paid 95% of their normal income that they were receiving when they were working members of the royal family from the Duchy of Cornwall, and that their security costs are still being paid. And I quote from their website, the provision of armed security by the Metropolitan Police is mandated by the Home Office, a ministerial department of Her Majesty's government responsible for security and law and order. As stated on the gov.uk, no breakdown of security security cost is available, as disclosure of some information could compromise the integrity of these arrangements and affect security of the individual protected. Its long-established policy is to not comment upon the protective security arrangements and their related cost for members of the royal family and their residences. A blatant dodge of, are they being paid by security? And I'll reiterate this again. If their security isn't being paid by the royal family, why is that still up there? It also states that if they are travelling on business for the royal family, and that could mean coming back from Megxit talks, their expenditure will also be paid. I have a sneaky suspicion that Netflix has stipulated that this deal can only go ahead if they retain their titles. And apparently they are coming back to the UK. Harry is definitely coming back, apparently, as is Meghan, allegedly. Could they have this alleged film crew in tow? Because it's been rumoured that they are being followed by a film crew to film their every move. Allegedly, it's a documentary, but it's a very fine line between documentary and reality, isn't it? These two are the masters of manipulation when it comes to playing the victims, and this could very well be another ploy for that victim status. Oh, they're being so mean to us. They won't let us have our title. They won't let us have the extension, even though the whole world is crumbling with COVID. They won't let us. Doesn't work like that, because you've got to prove that you haven't been able to do things during COVID to make sure that you can secure that 12-month review. But you haven't. You've been brokering deals left, right and centre. Hypocrisy at its finest yet again. I think that they are using these titles for a money spinning exercise. We all know that. They wouldn't have got these deals if they hadn't have got those titles. And it's not really how that should happen. So I suspect that this 12-month review, to be extended, this request, is to try and exploit these opportunities even more. If they're granted an extension, it will only benefit the Sussexes themselves. It won't benefit anybody else. And according to the Daily Mail, as part of the negotiations, they will speak to senior royals on video calls ahead of Prince Harry, who will be joined by Meghan, returning to the UK to speak face-to-face with aides and family. And it's been claimed by the Mail as well that the couple would like to return in time for the Queen's 95th birthday and the Duke of Edinburgh's 100th birthday. Well, that again is milking your connections. Will the film crew be in tow? Of course it will. What will the royal family do if it does? I mean, they didn't actually want the 12-month review in the first place, according to media tabloids, yet they want to extend it. Nothing makes sense. The only thing I can conclude about is money. What I really hope the Queen actually says is, I've given you a choice. You either keep your titles and be independent but do not monetize, or you drop your titles and you're able to create as much money as you want on your own as private citizens. I'd love to know who leaked this story to the tabloids. Was it them or was it the palace? Because if it was them, yet again, they are playing the victims. And you remember early in the year, we had all this vitriol towards the royal family and how they didn't understand her, they didn't support her. Why on earth would you want an extension into a family that you claim didn't support you and that turned their backs? Nothing makes sense about these two at all. There's got to be another deal somewhere that they're trying to swindle. Can you remember when Megxit happened? They dropped this huge bombshell. They launched their website and it really blindsided the royal family. Yes, they were in talks about how it could be worked if they wanted to leave, but they weren't happy with those talks. So they dropped that website and blindsided the lot. They left in a huff, basically. Why on earth do they still want to attach themselves if they felt so unsupported, so denied, and just so victimized? So I would love to know your thoughts on all of this. Why are they asking for an extension for 12 months in March? Could it be to do with monetization and their contracts stipulate that they must hold their titles, so they're panicking? Therefore, they've gone back to the table and gone, can we have a 12-month review because of COVID? Doesn't really work out like that because, like I've said, you've already been very busy during these times. Doesn't sit well, does it? Or do you think there's something more personal to do with all of this? Do you think she could be pregnant and she doesn't want the stress, or she doesn't want the media attention to be on Megxit and not her pregnancy? Or do you just think it's them trying to hold on tightly to their titles. What do you think will be the firm's response? Will they grant the extension, or will they simply say, no, you come over in March and you hash this out now? I can guarantee if the 12-month is extended, there will be a lot of unhappy people and it will make the monarchy look weak. As always, I would love to know your thoughts. Thank you very much for watching. If you haven't already, please subscribe to my YouTube channel, hit the notification bell and also that like button. I'd like to take this opportunity to thank all of my followers for all the tips and all the emails, DMs that everybody sends to me. It really is greatly appreciated. So thank you very much for watching once again.